Many adults say they wish to be a kid again, or that kids have it easy. But as exaggerated as those statements may seem to kids, it's for good reason.
Throughout the book, The House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros, she demonstrates that childhood is less complicated than adulthood by engaging readers as the young protagonist Esperanza deals with other problems in many ways people connect to.
She shows how the girl's mindsets allow her to experience life with a less complicated perspective than adults have.
And this appears when she faces the very common challenges of conflicts with friends, setbacks in her day, and insecurities about herself.
Children often act silly during arguments, which contrasts with the more serious tone of teen and adult interactions. For instance, in the beginning of the chapter, Aunt Moore, Esperanza and her friends Lucy and Rachel are going back and forth, but it's hard not to laugh at how unserious they act. Better get the broom, too much trash in our yard. Tell your sister, Lucy and me are never coming back here forever.
When it comes to kids, it's hard to take their pointless quarrels seriously because of how they are able to over-dramatize everything. On the other hand, adults and teenagers often behave more sternly during arguments than a kid like Esperanza would, holding back their freeing but consequential thoughts and actions. With all that said, this vignette demonstrates how dealing with their problems more mindlessly and less strictly than adults and teens, children have the ability to freely express themselves.
Small things often have big impacts on children's emotions that many adults have hard times relating to, often leading to those feelings being brushed aside. For example, in the chapter Chanclas, Esperanza says, "Everybody laughs except me because I'm wearing the new dress and the old saddle shoes I wear to school." The little girl's disappointment about no new shoes for her new dress allows her to just sit and neglect any attempt to brighten herself up.
But this problem may appear too simple that the solution becomes unrelatable for a mature audience. On the contrary, as people grow up, it's common that they become less attentive to small inconveniences, but rather go on with their day. For kids, however, it's easy to let minor difficulties bring them down when they haven't grown to keep their emotions composed by facing many challenges.
Growing up brings the burden of having complicated feelings about the world and oneself. For example, the chapter Beautiful and Cruel shows that because Esperanza grows up, she feels many negative things about herself. She reveals this when she says, "I am an ugly daughter. I'm the one nobody comes for."
Esperanza's intense insecurity about her self-image contrasts and highlights the simple views she had about herself when she was younger, having no sign of insecurity regarding her looks. So, when it comes to growing up, it means dealing with more complex thoughts and perspectives that aren't as noticeable when people are young.
In conclusion, Cisneros shows readers that childhood is easier compared to adulthood because of how kids' mindsets are. Esperanza's experiences as a child to a teen when it comes to her behavior, feelings, and insecurities prove this.
In the end, Cisneros teaches readers that children often approach life with a sense of wonder and ease, but it tends to get lost as they get older. Despite differences, maybe one day it'll be embraced for adults to change the way they approach things to achieve that childlike ease of life.